Stop arguing right now. Not tomorrow, not after this video, but in this moment. Because every argument you win, quietly, costs you something far more valuable than being right. It costs you trust. It costs you influence. It costs connection. Dale Carnegie understood something most people never realize. When you argue, you do not persuade, you provoke. When you attack ideas, you attack identity, and the human mind will defend itself even against the truth. Imagine two people standing face to face. Both believe they are right. Both feel unheard. Both raise their voice slightly, not to communicate, but to protect ego. At that moment, logic dies. Psychology takes control. The brain shifts into defense mode. The listener stops listening and starts preparing their counterattack. This is why arguments feel exhausting and pointless. You leave feeling frustrated, and the relationship quietly weakens. Dale Carnegie watched this pattern repeat everywhere, in offices, in marriages, in friendships, in business deals. He saw that arguments rarely change minds, but often harden them. So he taught a different method, a method that feels counterintuitive at first, but works with human nature instead of against it. Here is the uncomfortable truth. The moment you try to prove someone wrong, you lose the chance to influence them. People do not want to be corrected, they want to be understood. They do not crave logic first, they crave respect. Picture a workplace scene. A manager calls an employee into a meeting. The employee made a mistake. The manager begins by listing everything that went wrong. The employee nods, but inside they shut down. They feel small, defensive, quietly resentful. The mistake may be corrected, but motivation dies. Now imagine a different approach. The manager starts by saying, "I may be missing something here, but I want to understand what happened from your side." The employee relaxes, the shoulders drop, the mind opens. Now the same correction can be delivered without resistance. This is the heart of Dale Carnegie's method. The first rule is simple yet powerful. Avoid arguments, not because you are weak, but because you are wise. Strength is not in overpowering others. Strength is in guiding them without force. Here's a mini story. Two neighbors argue over a parking spot. One insists it is his right. The other insists it is unfair. Voices rise. Days pass with tension. One day, one neighbor changes strategy. He says, "I see why this matters to you. I would feel the same way." That single sentence dissolved weeks of hostility. Why? Because acknowledgement disarms the ego. Psychology tip number 1. People listen after they feel heard, never before. Dale Carnegie taught that if you want to convince someone, first agree where you can. Agreement does not mean surrender. It means building a bridge. Even a small agreement, like "you might be right" or "I understand your concern," creates psychological safety. From safety comes openness. From openness comes influence. Think about the last argument you had. Ask yourself this: were you trying to understand or trying to win? Winning feels good for a moment. Understanding changes relationships for a lifetime. Another example. A parent argues with a teenager about phone usage. The parent lectures. The teen resists. Now reverse the method. The parent says, "I know your phone feels important because it connects you to your world." That sentence alone changes the emotional climate. Now boundaries can be discussed instead of enforced. This method always works because it respects human dignity. Dale Carnegie believed that every person wants to feel important. Arguments strip that feeling away. Empathy restores it. Actionable step. The next time you feel the urge to argue, pause. Take one breath. Replace your first response with curiosity. Ask a question instead of making a statement. Curiosity opens doors that force slams shut. Remember this: you cannot win an argument and keep a friend at the same time, but you can avoid an argument and gain influence. That's where real power lives.
There is a silent moment in every conversation where the outcome is decided. It happens before words escalate. It happens when ego whispers, "Defend yourself." Dale Carnegie taught us to recognize that moment and choose a different path. Most arguments begin not with disagreement, but with tone. A raised eyebrow, a sharp sentence, a dismissive reaction. The brain interprets these as threats. When threatened, the mind seeks dominance, not understanding. This is why facts bounce off angry people. The emotional brain has taken over. Here is where Carnegie's deeper psychology comes in. Instead of correcting people directly, he suggested letting them save face. No one wants to feel foolish. When you expose someone's error publicly, they will defend it privately forever. Consider a team meeting. One colleague presents an idea with a flaw. You notice it instantly. You interrupt and point it out. The room goes quiet. You may be right, but you just made an enemy. Now imagine saying later in private, "I might be mistaken, but I was wondering if we considered this angle." The idea improves and the relationship strengthens. This method works because it respects pride. Pride is not vanity. Pride is identity. Threaten it and you get resistance. Protect it and you gain cooperation. Mini story. A sales professional once argued with a potential client over price. He explained numbers and value. The client resisted harder. Later, the salesperson tried a different approach. He said, "I can see why this feels expensive, and I would feel the same way in your position." The client relaxed and asked questions. The deal closed, not because of better logic, but because of emotional alignment. Psychology tip number 2. Validation is not agreement, it is acknowledgement of feeling. Dale Carnegie advised starting conversations with appreciation even when correction is needed. Appreciation lowers defenses. It signals respect. It says, "You are valued even when you're wrong." This does not mean avoiding truth. It means delivering truth without triggering resistance. Think of truth as medicine. The dosage and timing matter. Another example. In a relationship, one partner feels unheard. Arguments repeat. Accusations fly. Nothing changes. One day, one partner says, "I may not have said this clearly, but your feelings matter to me, and I want to understand them better." That sentence shifts years of tension, not because it solved everything, but because it changed the emotional direction. Actionable step. Replace statements with soft openers. Use phrases like, "I might be wrong," or "help me understand," or "I see your point." These phrases lower psychological walls. Dale Carnegie also warned against saying, "You are wrong." Those words ignite the ego. Instead, he suggested showing respect for opinions. Say, "I used to think that too," or "That's an interesting perspective." This keeps dialogue alive. Remember, influence is not force. Influence is invitation. When people feel respected, they invite new ideas in. Think of the most persuasive people you know. They are calm. They listen more than they speak. They never rush to correct. They create an atmosphere where others feel safe to change their mind without humiliation. This is why Carnegie's method always works. It aligns with the deepest human need, the need to feel significant.
The true power of Dale Carnegie's method reveals itself when emotions run high. This is where most people fail. They react, they defend, they argue. Carnegie taught mastery of self before mastery of others. When you feel triggered, pause. That pause is strength. In that pause, you choose influence over impulse. Imagine a heated family discussion. Old patterns surface, voices rise. Someone brings up the past. Instead of responding immediately, one person says, "Let us slow down for a moment. "I care about this relationship more than being right." That sentence changes the entire energy. It reframes the goal from winning to understanding. Psychology tip number 3. State your intention clearly. When people know your intention is connection, they lower their guard. Carnegie believed that humility disarms conflict. Admitting fault, even partially, removes the need for others to attack. Say, "You might be right," or "I could have handled that better." These words feel risky, but they are powerful. Mini story. 2 business partners disagreed on strategy. Meetings became tense. One day, one partner said, "I realize I may have pushed too hard, and I appreciate your patience." The conflict softened instantly. Trust returned. Progress resumed. This works because humility invites reciprocity. When you lower your shield, others lower theirs. Actionable step. Practice admitting small faults daily. It builds credibility. People trust those who can acknowledge imperfection. Another key principle: let the other person feel the idea is theirs. Carnegie taught that people support what they help create. Instead of pushing your solution, ask questions that lead them there. When they arrive at the conclusion themselves, resistance disappears. Example: a manager wants a team member to improve punctuality. Instead of lecturing, he asks, "What do you think would help make mornings smoother?" The employee suggests a solution. Ownership is created. Psychology tip number 4. Questions persuade better than statements. As the conversation ends, remember to leave the person feeling important. Appreciation seals influence. A simple "thank you for sharing your thoughts" reinforces respect. Dale Carnegie's method always works because it is built on timeless psychology. People remember how you made them feel long after they forget what you said. When you stop arguing, you start leading. The final truth: the strongest person in the room is not the loudest. It is the one who remains calm, curious, and kind under pressure. That person shapes outcomes without force. Next time conflict arises, remember this method. Avoid arguments, acknowledge feelings, show respect, ask questions, let others save face. Influence will follow naturally. Stop arguing not because you give up, but because you rise above. This is how you win hearts without battles and change minds without resistance.